So, the oldest Anarchy server on Minecraft. My entire recommended somehow is spammed full with the old bald guy from 2BTT and then his son Sal. It's crazy. So I slowly started watching the videos for a little bit, and I've become quite interested in the history and all the special things that 2BTT has that normal servers don't have. And as of recent, Tubbo has also been talking about the server a lot, so I thought that this was the perfect time for me to join the server, with the entire server actually being full. But when I tried joining the server, the queue times were about 11 hours. I'm not going to wait that long, I'm sorry. But I had to put this video out, so I bought priority queue. I love wasting money for these videos. Let's go. When I finally loaded in, I spawned inside of a cave randomly, which I didn't even expect to be near spawn, but I did spawn in it. So I instantly went looking for a nether portal, which I figured out was the best way to leave spawn as fast as I physically could. I was checking out my hack client and I figured out how to use FreeCam, which basically lets you fly around any place you really want to. So after FreeCamming around for a bit, I found this base that kind of reminded me of an aquarium. It wasn't that griefed yet, so I expected that it wasn't that old. And I figured that living close to spawn definitely wasn't a good idea. So when I finally escaped that cave, I found myself a nether portal. When I went through that portal, I found a lot of blocks that were seemingly placed without any reason, a lot of obsidian, which just makes an entire spider web around the spawn area of the nether. Because I was lucky, I found myself a road, which made it so much easier to travel to the nether. I saw a couple crystals here and there, but I ignored them and just ran on. Till at some point I tried jumping over a block, but there was no block behind it. Really dumb. Time for run 2. But before we go to the second run... Wait, you thought this was gonna be a sponsored section? Nah, I'm just here to ask. Anyone wanna admit they have a crush on me? That's so cringe. But in all seriousness, it would mean a lot to me if you subbed. It only takes a couple seconds and it helps the channel out a whole bunch. When we reach 200 subs, I'll do a cooking related stream because a whole lot of people have been asking for that. And when we reach 400, I'm going to do something with a microwave, which I don't own, and it's the complete opposite of the first one. I'll probably smash it, because healthy pog. Sorry for the short message, but let's just get on with the video. See you around, enjoy. So during my second run, I spawned on a giant obsidian roof that is casted over the top of the entire spawn on 2BTT. Which made it way easier for me to leave spawn because I found a water pool and I just jumped down, which instantly gave me a nice section where I could spawn. So after I jumped down, I found this griefed valley that had a bunch of obsidian blocks from nether portals and banners in them. So I took a couple banners with me because I thought they looked nice. So after checking the footage out, the banner apparently was named Millennium Says Traps Ain't Gay, which really showed me the wholesome side that 2BTT also apparently has. I also found a bunch of obsidian blocks and cobblestone blocks around the place, which made it way easier for me to leave the nether spawn, so I kindly took it with me. As you guys might know, I'm Dutch, and because I'm Dutch, I do kinda like windmills. It's just a thing we do. 2BTT apparently also like windmills, but the type of windmills that will get me demonetized within 5 seconds. So I thought, let's blur those out and just call it windmills. You guys probably all know what I'm talking about. The second time I went to the nether was even more lucky than the first one because I instantly spawned on a road, and not much later I found a large open area where I could freely run through. It really did make me think what lowlife would put the time in to make such a large area just to make people's life a little bit easier. But then again, I make YouTube videos, so in a way I'm really not in the right position to say that about a person. The red line that shows, by the way, is baritone. It makes you automatically walk forward in a smarter way, so I didn't have to press the forward button, which really just shows how lazy I really am whilst making these videos. So after walking for a while, I decided that it was a good idea to now go through a nether portal, which apparently was quite a lucky portal because it brought me to a giant castle that had been made a long time ago, fully made out of cobblestone. So in 2BTT fashion, since everything is allowed, I griefed it for a bit, took all the stuff I could physically find and just admired how it looked, because it was not bad looking. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't griefed, there were no lava casts around the place, but it still looked really old in a way that I don't think it's been there for shorter than 2 years. I also found a bunch of signs which I found really interesting. It showed a bunch of signs that were placed there around 2016, which means the base really was that old. But I was still starving. So I explored the area for a bit and found some spawners, which I thought was a good thing. But then I broke a block, fell down, died to fall damage, had to start over again. So at this point, understandably, I was quite tilted, so I just went through the first nether portal I could find. But that wasn't the smartest thing, because the portal was actually nether trapped, which means I was now stuck in the nether, all in the hands of someone else. So I tried all my cheats, but I couldn't really get out, till at some point a giant lag spike hit the server and it somehow put me back to the overworld, which freed me from my inevitable death. Because otherwise I had to join queue again, and queue wasn't great, because even with priority queue it's still waiting 2 hours. It's not ideal. So a little bit later I found this giant lava wall, which I found really interesting. I've looked up some information about it, and apparently it spreads all around the entirety of spawn, and it was a giant project. For me, it actually was quite easy to get through because someone else already made a tunnel, which just made it really easy for me to leave. So I found another nether portal, went in there, and found the same spot where I was stuck in mere minutes ago. I found another player who was stuck in the same position as I was before, and I felt bad for him, so I tried helping him out, which was quite difficult because I didn't really have diamond tools. After hitting the block for like 2 minutes straight, he just left and didn't come back, which means that I still did not have a friend at this point. What a jerk. So I met this other player named Tyrobite, which I became friends with quite easily. His name is based off one of the main players on the server, and we got friends by punching a random kid to death. But I've read enough Reddit posts to know that friends never last, and this was really an example like that because the game lagged out, and when I joined back he was nowhere to be found. But not long after joining back, I made 2 new friends. One named Pavu, who is the main one because the other one died probably 5 minutes later, and we just forgot about him and went on with our journey. I'm pretty sure that Pavu was one of the Tubbo fans, judging by the similarities in his skin, and because of that reason I thought he was pretty young. I didn't know that at this point I'd be walking for hours with Pavu. We walked for hours upon hours, finding basically nothing, till at some point we found a bunch of random tools just laying on the ground, which we shared between the 2 of us. Besides that, we mainly spent our time looking for like random bases around spawn, hopefully finding something amazing. But we didn't find much more than already looted bases and a bunch of spawners. Probably the height of our entire journey was the base we found that wasn't rated, but didn't really have a whole lot of stuff in it. The person who apparently made the base was there a day before us, which means that it's an active player. Which means it's very likely to still find a bunch of bases around the map. even though that many players are looking for them, which I found quite interesting. After traveling for like another 30 minutes, me and Pafu decided that it was a good time to build our own base. So we built a small shack somewhere in the wilderness where we could freely fish and find different ways of getting food, which was definitely a big problem for us on the server. But while I was doing that, I knew what I had to do, because I couldn't stay with Pafu the entire time. Because I still wanted to record a bit for maybe a future video, and also I felt like Pafu was really, and I'm talking really young. Oh. So I wrote him a pretty long message to show him that I decided that I wanted to go. And I also obviously plugged my stream after because, you know, free advertisement, lmao. And I left and continued the journey alone, finding something amazing. Well, I'll leave that for next episode. So you might now ask, DoMind, is playing on 2BTT really worth it? And I would say no. Is waiting 18 hours in a queue if you don't have the money to pay for priority queue really worth it? No. But what I would say is maybe try it once or twice, so you get a hint of it. It is quite interesting to see all the culture and history that the server has gone through. It is a place you will find on no other server. But really build massive structures on it, I would not recommend that. It really were the things like meeting players like Pavu and Tyrobyte that made it interesting for me. And also the history of the server spoke to me. The giant grief buildings, it was just a nice change of pace from every normal Minecraft server that you'll ever find. So yeah, go join for like once or twice, and then never join again. Good luck. Good luck on your journey. See you around. Till next time.